Om Shanti, good morning. So, welcome all of you to the English Agat Murli Reading Club. Here we are with another brand new Murli today of 9th of December 89. Again, so before I begin the Murli, let's take a little bit of time and explore these words which Baba is speaking about in the Murli today. And there are many, many such words. I think we should find them out, jot them down, and churn on them. So it's all those words which start with yukt and mukt. So yukt is a beautiful Hindi word which means full of. And second is mukt, which means to be free from and independent. So today Baba is speaking about yog yukt and yukti yukt. We'll go in that details in Baba's language itself. But there are many other words which are with yukt. So Baba says if you look at the four subjects, so we should be gyan yukt, full of knowledge, yog yukt, full of remembrance, powerful remembrance of Baba, yukti yukt, which is being tactful, which means knowing at what time to do what thing. Because many people uh, understand this word yukti yukt as being manipulative. No, not at all. Manipulative, no. Or even being false. Like, for example, if I don't need to say this in the sense falsehood. Like many people say that if I want to cover up some lies, I can polish it with something on the top and say that is yukti yukti. No, that is being manipulative. That is absolute lack of purity. Like you're thinking something else, you're trying to fabricate something, and you're trying to say something else. So no. So we'll come to yukti yukti according to Baba's again Murlis. So
Um, Shanti, Manoj, I think the Murli that you're talking about, we already read yesterday and day before.
oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. So, because it has been told to me this one, so let me just know which one are you talking about? The next one after that?
Yeah. So the next one, 1312, right? That is the one we should read. The
Fine.
line of fortune of the divine Brahmin birth.
Fine. So no worries. So I'll just go on that.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry for that. Good good you reminded it after 4 minutes. That's okay. So that we didn't spend a lot of time on that. So 13th of December. So let's see. This is good to be spontaneous. Ever ready ka part always. So the lines of fortune of the divine Brahmin birth. So since we have spent almost 4 minutes, 5 minutes there, let's move on to sharing the screen. Okay. I'll just share it in a minute. So what are the lines of fortune of a Brahmin birth? Hope it's visible now. And I always share the PDF. I like it this way. So it's 13th of December 89. We'll be reading it in three parts. We'll see how much we can cover today. So today, Bab Dada, who's the creator of the world, is seeing all his children of the world in the form of human souls. And among all the souls, that is, among all the children, there are two types of children. And Baba always likes to classify in different ways. So now two types. One type are those who recognize the Father, and the others are those who call out to him and are trying to recognize him. So you now decide where you want to be. One is the recognition one, which is the Gyan Yukt, again, Gyani Bache, Raj Gyan. I was trying to say that. Sorry, I'll just finish off. Gyan Yukt, Raj Yukt, and Sar Yukt. These come with knowledge. You're full of knowledge, though, but you're essence-full as well. And also, you know the secrets of the drama. So that is one type, and the others are those who are still in the process. They're trying to recognize Father, and they're still calling out to him. Remember, being calling out is a sanskar of bhakti, a devotee sanskar. So we should not be in that category at least. However, Baba is saying all are his children. So today, Baba is seeing both types of children. Out of all the children, there are very few who recognize and meet Baba, whereas there are many who are trying to recognize him. So we don't want to be in the trial group, right? A line of elevated fortune is shining on the forehead of the children who recognize Baba. तकदीर की श्रेष्ठ या श्रेष्ठ तकदीर की लकीरें. The most elevated line of fortune is the divine Brahmin birth itself, which is received from the Father. The line of the divine birth is sparkling very brightly. The children who call out unknowingly believe that God has created them, but because they do not know Him exactly, that who Baba is, they are unable to experience the divine birth. Whilst what you say, that Bab Dada has given you your divine birth, they too say that God has created them. God is the creator and God is the one who is the sustainer. See here, Baba has never said that the three roles, Brahma, Vishnu, Shankar, which is creator, sustainer, and destroyer. Baba never says in the path of knowledge, you would have never seen anywhere Baba mentioning that he's the destroyer. But we understand that he's a destroyer of all the obstacles. He's the destroyer of all the vices in that way. But categorically in Murli of today's Murli as well, God is the creator and he's the one who's the sustainer. However, there's so much difference in what they say and what you say. You say from experience, intoxication, and knowledge that Bab Dada, that is the mother and father, has created you, and that is, he's given you your Brahmin birth. So you know the creator, your birth, your horoscope, the method and success of your divine birth. It's beautiful. So when think of it as a Lokik birth, when a child is born in the Lokik world, immediately you have the birth date, the birth certificate. We also have that, right? In a Brahmin life, we try to remember our Lokik birth dates, don't we? Unfortunately, I feel very bad. I don't even remember the date exactly. That's my weakness. Horoscope. People develop horoscopes based on astrology, and very important, the method and success of your divine birth. So we say the Vidhi and Siddhi. That's the reason it is said method and success. So therefore, see, it's so beautiful, these Hindi words. Therefore, I tried to mention it because they are rhyming. Vidhi and Siddhi. So all these four things we know of our Brahmin birth. And each one of you remembers the day of your divine birthday, don't you? Oh, Baba, I don't remember, sorry. So, what is the speciality of this divine birth? The souls with an ordinary birth just celebrate their birthday, their education days, and their friends' days separately. See, Baba is so modern. He's speaking about this. Nowadays, we have this Friends Day. They have the friend band they tie on that day. So, Baba says, what would you say? For you, your birthday, your marriage day, and days of education are all the same. So it's beautiful. Right on the first day when we got the Brahmin birth, that day itself we got married to Baba, which means we got engaged. So engagement day is also the same. Marriage day also is the same. Hope we don't say divorce day. We do keep divorcing in a very subtle manner. We try to, when we forget Baba, we are divorcing him in one way, mini divorces, right? But we should not be doing that. Baba is not saying that. I said that here. Education Day means Baba is the supreme teacher. From day one, we start listening to Murli as well. So all the days for us are the same. Then Baba is going further to say whether you call it Mother's Day, Father's Day, there you are, the engagement day, or whatever you wish to call it, it is the same day. So Baba is in a very Ramanic, entertaining way today telling us all these days. Have you ever heard of such a divine birth? Throughout the entire cycle, you souls never have another day like this. In Satyug too, you will not have the same marriage or wedding day and birthday, which means obviously your birthday would be different and your marriage day would be when you become the age of 25, 30 years from uh, what do you call from Krishna to Narayan. But at this confluence age, this is the speciality and the uniqueness of this great birth. In fact, the day that you became a Brahmin is your birthday and also your marriage day because all of you make the promise. What? Mine is one Baba and none another. So this is the determined thought you have from the start, isn't it? I eat only with you. I sit with you. I fulfill all relationships with you. And this is the promise that all of you have made, isn't it? The Pandavas, the mothers, the Kumaris have also made this promise, haven't you? So remember, your mind cannot go anywhere else, even in your dreams. It's a very elevated stage, right? Are you firm to this extent, or do you need a companion to make this firmness strong? Do you need a special companion for service? Like sometimes we feel, oh, that I gel well with this and XYZ. We are actually attached in the name and form of that person, and we feel, oh, we need support of that. So Baba says, do you need such special companion? Don't haven't you made me your companion for any service where you're going? So for whom would you celebrate the day of companionship? Will you celebrate the day of companionship of a serviceable companion or of the Father being your companion? So you have to check it. A very good checking point, that are we still dependent on people? And here I was coming to that point which I was saying, that the yukt and the mukt words. So let me connect that here. So mukt means we should be mukt of many things and yukt of things, which I told you, you all have read the Murli as well. And mukt from what? Bandhan mukt. Bondage. We should be free from bondage of all these. This is a big bondage for us. If I'm still just thinking of some service companion to get some support from, or Baba, in Baba's words, to get some salvation from, then I'm still in full of bondage. So Baba says, Bandhan mukt, then Jivan mukt. We should be liberation in life. So there are many such words, we should keep churning on them. See, then he goes on to explain that whether someone gives service or takes service, at the time of service, do that service and then become so detached and loving, nyara pyara, that there is not even the slightest feeling of obligation. That obligation means that I am doing it. Remember a few days before the Vardhan, the blessing, and yesterday the blessing was converted into the slogan. I think it was 2 days ago, the blessing was of having the awareness of Karan Karavan Har, the smriti of that. And yesterday it was there in the blessing of Karan Karavan Har. So uh, I should not have this. This is an obligation for me. I am doing it, or I need this so and so person. So, see, those who help you in service, whether a brother or sister, would be special, wouldn't they? Those who do special service would have a special right too. So, though someone is special, doing a good service, up to that extent, it's fine. But they are not your special service companions, remember. So, be service companions, no doubt. Do special service with them, no doubt, but be companions in the stage of being observers. So here we are. So Baba is really trying to point out here that be a detached observer even while doing this seva. And that is the key to develop a karmatit stage. That is the way to become perfect, to become complete. Karmatit is nothing but my perfect stage, whereby I'm not influenced, I'm not obliged, I'm not attracted to any of these things. And when you forget the stage of being an observer and become companions with whom? With your service brothers and sisters, then Baba says you forget the Father. And here comes the word, as I said, divorce. So, I mean, a very strong word. I should not be using that, but Baba has said that in the Sakar Murlis, that you do that with me. So, practice playing your part as an observer. So we have 6 pages of this movie. Let me go on the second page. We'll be reading 3 pages, sorry, 2 every day. So on the second page now, Baba is speaking about these 4 lines. So let's see what they are. There are 4 special lines of fortune sparkling on the forehead of each child. First is the line of divine birth. We said that, we covered that. Second is the line of sustenance from God. So Palna. Third is Padhai. Third is the line of godly study. And fourth is the line of selfless service. It is Seva, Niswart Seva. So Brahman Janam. Janam ke baad you have 2 PPs, Palna and Padhai, sustenance and study. And the last, after doing all that, then we have the 4th subject, which is the 4th line, easy to remember. That is the service. And very specific, selfless service. Although all the 4 lines of fortune are sparkling on each one's forehead, a difference is visible in the sparkle because of the differences in their sparkle and in the lines being extended steadily. So we are responsible for making our lines short or making them lengthy. There are very few who have been experiencing a steady increase in all the 4 lines from the beginning up until now. In between, the line of fortune in some aspects has broken. And we know when we remember someone else, it breaks. Or the sparkle has either decreased or become unclear. So it has become very blurred or faded. When they look at the lines on a hand, they see that the line on some people's hands are broken. Some are constant, some are clear, and some are not so clear. I remember this beyond the age of 75, actually. Both my parents are beyond that, fortunately healthy and hale and hearty. So when I used to take them for the Aadhaar card, sometimes they have to renew that Aadhaar cards or whatever, even while the Aadhaar card was being in play when it started. So that time, my father particularly, so his fingerprints of the hand were very blurred. So it reminds me, and the person there was saying that please put it properly, the Babaji. I mean, put it properly. I mean, he was trying to put it properly, but it's just that with age, your skin lines, I mean, the fingerprints, they become very blurred. So same thing Baba is saying here. What is the line of the divine? Is it blurred? Divine birth, then the sustenance, padhai, palna, padhai, godly study, and service, which is selfless service. So now Baba says, Bab Dada also continues to look at the children's line of fortune. Everyone has taken a divine birth, but the line of the divine birth of someone is broken or not clear because they do not constantly follow the religion and action of the birth. So here it comes dharam and karam. Again, English words difficult to understand, but in Hindi they are dharam and karam. So what is my dharma and what is my karma? And we always know that Baba always tries to link the word dharam with dharana. So what is my, as a Brahmin dharam, what is my dharana? Which means, as a Brahmin, what have I inculcated in my life so that I can perform action accordingly? So what is your dharma and what is your karma? You know this, don't you? All you Brahmins are moving forward with sustenance from God. Whether you are surrendered or whether you live in a household, we're all moving along according to the Father's directions. What would the householders say? Do you eat what you have earned, or do you eat from that which belongs to the Father? Obviously, it will be the second option, no choice. You eat from what is the Father's because you have given everything you have to the Father, and all of it belongs to Him, doesn't it? Even if you're earning, do you hand over the income you have earned to the Father, or do you use it for yourself? Let us ask that. You're a trustee, aren't you? So a trustee doesn't have anything for himself. In being a householder, there's the consciousness of I and mine. Whereas in being a trustee, everything belongs to the Father. Even though you prepare the food yourself, you believe that you're eating Brahma Bhojan every meal daily. Whom do you offer bhog to first? You offer it to the Father, don't you? So to offer it means to eat what has come from the Father. So you eat Brahma Bhojan. Even if you use something for your children, you do that according to directions, like for your Lokik children. It reminds me of a story which Sister Jayanti has shared once, that there was a Brahmin couple in the UK, uh, quite well to do as well, obviously Indian Brahmin, I mean Indian body. And their kids, when they were young, they used to come to the center. It's a very routine story even in India. The kids come, but as they grow, their intellect expands and they don't want to become a Brahmin. I mean, they are not destined to because they are not Brahmins actually. They just came with parents because they were just not forced to, but they were kids, so they were got by the parents. So the parents, over a period of time, that couple, they accepted that yes, they would not become Brahmins. And you're in the UK, you're in a culture where you can't force anything on the kid. In India, also, you can't do that. So forget in the UK. So as that girl grew, it was a girl child, as she grew, um, I mean, you know the culture there, so they become independent. She found out her partner and she wanted to get married. So the parents said, okay, fine, you want to get married, But it was a beautiful understanding between the daughter and the father. The father said that, see, I am a Brahmin now, and I now know that I don't want to spend money on anything which is not according to Baba's directions. So Baba's Srimad tells me that I should not be using the money. So please don't expect anything from me monetarily. We are there for you emotionally, physically, blah blah, all that as your parents. But I will not give you any money for the marriage because I am a Pakka Brahmin in one way. So I'm sure you understand what I'm saying. And the girl also, the daughter, it was a good understanding between them. She had no ill feeling. She said, yes, I understand that. And I know my childhood I have spent going with you all to the center, GCH, all that area in London. So I'm fine with that. And both the partner of hers, I think he was a white body brother. So her partner and he, both of them had no ill feelings. The function went on very well. They knew that they're into dharna, so their meals and all that were homemade, home cooked. They were not eating from outside, but there was no ill feeling. And still to this date, Sister Jayanti shares that the girl now is like having her own kids and all, and they have a good cordial relationship. So that's what I'm trying to say. It doesn't matter that if your kids don't become babas, or even you as a child are a Brahmin, but your parents are not Brahmin. So either ways, whichever way you are, you just have to finish your karmic accounts in whichever household you are in this Lokik birth. So Baba is saying here that if you are a trustee, which means you will follow everything according to my Srimad. So it reminded me of this story. So everything is Brahma Bhojan. You offer it to Baba. And even if you use something for your children, you do that according to the directions. So that clicked the story for me. And just as the surrendered brothers and sisters use their mind, body, and wealth in different tasks, in the same way, those who live on the household path also use their body and wealth for something, considering it to be entrusted to them according to the Father's Srimad. So you do this, don't you? We all of us do it at various ways and number wise. There isn't dishonesty. That is, you don't mix the dictates of your own mind in that which has been given to you in trust to you. A beautiful line. So Baba is trying to say Manmat and Srimat. You don't mix them, right? Don't make them mixture, which means, uh, you know what is a mixture in Hindi? Not the word. Mixture खाने की चीज होती है ना? चेवड़ा in Hindi. I think the Gujaratis and others would understand. It's a very Mumbai word. Chevda is mix of many things which people have as a snack, as a namkeen, as a savory snack. So we don't mix, right? Srimat with Manmat. So all Brahmin souls are receiving godly sustenance. Sustenance is given in order to make you powerful. So what is the practical form of the sustenance received from the mother? Now Baba's asking, starting with the mother. Now, which mother would that be? Let's churn and see. It's either Shiv mother or Brahma ma or Jagdamba ma. It could be anyone, but I think it's more of Shiv. The child becomes powerful. So you have all become master almighty authorities to the sustenance given by Brahma and the mother, both. However, some children use the powers all the time, whereas others do not use the powers they have attained. That is the sustenance they have received it all the time. So we receive our powers again, we use them number wise, but not all the time. That is, they do put this sustenance into a practical form, but again, not always. This is why, even though you receive the most elevated sustenance, you still remain weak and the line of fortune is broken. So then I'll just finish off this because the four lines I have started, we'll finish this here. Two more, and then tomorrow we'll take the other ones because it's not good to keep it halfway. In the same way, let's take the line of study, the third line. The aim and object of the study is to claim an elevated status. Baba, the teacher, teaches the same study to everyone and he teaches it at the same time. Nevertheless, not everyone has the same intoxication or the status of elevated Brahman life and the study. Again, here we go, it's number wise, everyone. And why? Because of not constantly keeping the status of the angelic form and the deity form in your awareness. So Brahman, so Farishta, so Devta. The Farishta form and the Devta form, That status we are not really bothered so much about. Therefore, Baba says it's not there in your awareness, and that's the reason there's a difference in each one's line of fortune. So that was the third line of godly study, padhai. Palna, visa, sustenance, divine birth, visa. And the last is, I'll finish off with this. The same applies in the line of service. Which service did Baba say? Unconditional service. So Brahma Baba reminded you of the speciality of service in the blessings, in the final moments of the corporeal form. What were the three words uttered by him? The last three words: Nirakari, Nirvikari, and Nirahankari. So be incorporeal, viceless, and egoless. You cannot give the fruit of service to any soul without stabilizing yourself in the incorporeal stage. So it's very important to be Nirakari always to get a good fruit in service. Because the arrow from the soul strikes the soul. If you're not constantly stable in this stage, then the ones whom you serve are not able to become constant embodiments of remembrance. So it's very important. The onus is on me. Why am I not able to strike the arrow? So the arrow of knowledge which I'm striking to someone is not making its effort, because in that yog ka jauhar, which means uh, the soul consciousness state, the remembrance state which I should be having, the constant embodiment of remembrance, smriti swarup, is not there. In the same way, for being viceless, if you have any trace of vice, it will not allow another soul to be transformed from the Shudra clan to the Brahmin clan. That soul also will have to labor like you, and this is why that soul is unable to constantly experience the fruit of love. The meaning of serving with humility is to be an embodiment of that fruit and bow down. So here it is that whatever service we do, I think somewhere I read this, it is today's blessing, where it comes that everything, either it is today's blessing or it is today's Avyakt Ishare, yeah, because Avyakt Ishare this month is about humility and sweetness. So it's Baba said that whatever you do, you have to just bow down. It will come in the Avyak signal when you read it today. So here again, Baba is reminding that you have to just keep bowing down. And here it reminds me of which soul who had those three: Juk Juk, Mar Mar, and Sik Sik. Anyone wants to unmute and say who was the Dadi? Or some Dadi's mother. I gave you a big hint. Let's see who's participating today. Yes, Girija Ben. Okay. Am I audible or is there silence from your
Yeah,
side?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Queen, is
All
that
rounder.
Queen Mother?
Oh,
All rounder.
all
Queen Mother?
rounder, no, no, all rounder is, sorry, it's not right. Yeah, who's the other one?
Queen Mother?
Queen Mother. Yeah, there you are. Right, spot on. Bijit Bhai 100
Queen
marks.
mother.
So it's Queen Mother, yeah. So it was Didi Manmohini's mother, Lokik mother, who was called Queen Mother, and she was the one who gave this Juk Juk, Mar Mar, and Sik Sik. Means first is Jhukna. That's the reason that is the first. You bow down and you have to really die. And it has to be in such extent that as a Brahmin, I have to keep doing that. If I want to become a Raja, if I want to become a Maharaja, a royal soul, I have to really, in this Brahmin birth, I have to really die, die, die whilst being alive, which means whatever people say, yes, I would have done everything properly, but people are still doubting my intention, they are doubting my whatever. But I don't have to create thoughts that why is it that they always do this with me? Why I have to die? Why I have to tolerate? You have to do that. Dadi Janki used to say, someone said, कितना सहन करें दादी हमें ही करना है. Yes, तुम्हें ही करना है, तुम्हें ही मरना है. Why? Because you have to become Shehenshah. You have to become a royal family soul or a Maharaja, whatever. So Juk Juk is bow down. Marna is, as I said, die alive. And Sikhna, Sikh Sikh, which means you have to constantly keep learning from every soul. Every soul who's coming to even thwart you, cheat you, defame you, is giving you a big lesson. You have to learn from that lesson. So without humility, there cannot be renewal. That is, there cannot be success in service. without humility, remember. So to put this, when I think of humility, the embodiment soul which I see is Jayanti Didi first, followed by Mohini Didi. I mean, they are really amazing souls, absolutely so humble. To put these three blessings, incorporeal, viceless, and egoless, into practical service constantly is what is called the unbroken line of fortune. So remember, the definition of unbroken line of fortune is a very bhari one, a heavy one. It is not very easy. It is these three ones, putting them into practical service, incorporeal, viceless, and egoless. So now check all these four lines of fortune. Are they unbroken and constant, or are they broken? Are they clear or unclear? You have become the lucky handful out of multi-millions, but you must become the few amongst those, right? Of the very few ones, Baba says, I can count them on fingers, the one who are an embodiment of these three. Those who are the few out of those multi-millions will then be respected by all and become worthy of worship in future. So who are those? It will be the Ashtratan, the eight jewels, who will be full pass with full honors and absolutely passing through the Dharamraj like a cakewalk. The sign of those whose line of fortune is unbroken is that they are even now loved by all of the Brahmin family because they are respected. Everyone's blessings make the line of fortune of the elevated souls sparkle. So ask yourself, who am I? So have you heard what Baba saw today? So I'll stop sharing this. And it reminds me, yesterday we celebrated the Vishwa Ekta Divas, not Bandhutva. Bandhutva is Dadi Prakashmani. And now they have given it to Dadi Ratan Mohini's day as Vishwa Unity, World Unity Day, 8th of April. It was the first ascension ceremony, and a beautiful Bhog message came from Mohini Didi. We won't go in that, otherwise, you all won't have time to share. If I have time, I'll share it later today. So let's be in silence for a minute and start sharing. Thank you. So you all can start sharing. Okay, so someone is in the chat box. Here you are. So Girija Behan is saying two types of children, few who recognize and meet Baba, and many who are trying to recognize and meet Baba. So the difference is trying. I say from experience, intoxication, and knowledge. God is creator and sustainer. The day of my divine birth, the day I became a Brahmin. Thank you. It's
And Baba says the line of fortune, about the line of fortune, the divine birth that we have received. And Baba says the Brahmin birth is directly from God, and the line, becomes weak if you don't follow any dharma and the karma that of Brahmins. So it becomes, we create our fortune so elevated by following the dharma and karma of Brahmins. Yeah.
good. Thank you. So it's heartening to see more number of people in the morning on English. It's good. I think it's the maximum 12. Yeah, so I think new people can also start sharing. Quite a few new names I'm seeing.
Om Shanti. Uh, uh, thank you, Baba. Thank you, Divine Family. Yeah, Dharma and Karma. Dharma is the belief that what we, according to what is the knowledge we receive, and we develop the belief, and we do the all actions, karma. So in this all process, we have to become this, first of all, the companionship of Baba. With his companionship, we have to do all this this dharma and this karma. So this is what I know about Om Shanti.
Om Shanti Manoj Bhai. You know, when you started the Murli of that Yukti Yukt, I was really enjoying because we explored so much about that. And when you started, I know you'll go deeper into it. And I liked the lesson of three, which you started, and it was something nice. Anyway, we some glimpses we got in it. Now, in today, you know, when Baba spoke about, like as just shared in the chat box, when he spoke about this line of birth, I liked that promise, you know, which he has said, which all of us make, mine is one Baba and none other. It immediately, and you said dharma is related to adharna. And I just got a thought about yesterday's dharna when there also Baba reminds us of the promise when I say, I will not waste my time, I will use every moment in a worthwhile. I will never forget Baba, I will claim a scholarship. I was just linking the promise. So I just wanted to know when is this promise taken? See, the day of my birth is when I just recognize Baba. Now I cannot link it the day I recognize Baba to a day of becoming a Brahmin because there's also a time lag between my divine birth and a complete Brahmin. So when this promise which I make shall completely work, shall say, yes, it's a true, like, you know, a wedding promise, a promise, as if somebody's putting on me the ring and saying, this is where we both shall be. Can you just say when is this promise generally taken?
Well, a very difficult question to answer because it should ideally be from the time when you get married. Like in the Lokik also, when you are engaged on that day one itself. Anyway, in the Lokik, it's different. People have it differently. Some have engagement today and then followed by it immediately the next day it's the marriage, and some people it can take a few months, few years. So ideally, if you're engaged on that very day, I'm speaking about the Lokik now. So in the Lokik world, you're supposed to like wear a ring, the engagement ring, and then looking at that ring you remember that person all the time, right? And there it has to be unadulterated remembrance, which Baba says in Sakar Murlis, that avyabhichari yad, only one. So same thing ideally for us. It has to be from day one when we recognize Baba. But as Baba only said, there are two types of children. The other ones are still trying to recognize. And we still, all of us fall in that category of trying, not now, in the initial days when we just receive the knowledge. So obviously it takes time to understand the knowledge. It's not like Masi Kagar, it's not so easy. Yes, I get the introduction, I am a soul, and the immediate next moment I become soul conscious. We know we are struggling even till this date, all of us. Again, number wise, we are at different aspects of soul consciousness practice. And that's the reason I spoke, but Baba didn't say that. But again, we keep giving those mini divorces when we forget Baba and remember something else. So it should be ideally from the day one when we realize, but it doesn't happen that way. So again, I can't tell you that when it should be, which day the promise should be, but nevertheless, it should be sooner rather than later because I have to really be complete and perfect and make sure I use Baba all the time in whatever things. And I don't know what you were referring to, but I was referring to yesterday's yesterday's slogan and day before yesterday's blessing. It was all about having this Karan Karavan Har Smriti, which we forget. We always forget. In Seva also, a subtle thought comes, oh, I did this. Oh, if I was not there, like, how could it have happened? So all these are really showing that we are breaking our promises every now and then, right?
Chalta hai? Is
Yeah,
it okay?
oops.
Is it chalta hai? Like sometimes we break. Is it okay? I'm just asking from a Shrimat viewpoint. See, sometimes it's not totally like that. I'm with you. even surrendered or anything. See, dadis were different. So for us, is it chalta hai? I just want to, is it okay? I'm just asking a kind of,
Yeah, so I mean, I never said chalta hai is okay. You're just asking it's a different, it's fine. But chalta hai is not okay because Baba says, जो यहाँ पे in हिंदी में जो यहाँ पे चलाता है उसको मैं धर्मराज में चलाऊंगा. And then वहाँ पे भी चलाऊ माल, you know what is चलाऊ माल? It's a
yeah, yeah.
it's a very root, not a very good mal, not a first-hand mal, a product coming from a this thing from a company. It's kam chalao mal, we say. It is not a very good product coming. So we also will become that. So doesn't chalta hai doesn't happen, and therefore it's not good to say chalta hai. No, kuch nahi chalta hai. Only Baba ka chalta hai, which means only Baba ki Srimad chalti hai. But we always try to manipulate. We are very manipulative kids that way.
I think Brahma Baba understands it better. Even he said, sometimes I even forget Baba. So, I go under that. I said, oh, Brahma Baba even has said, so sometimes we forget. That's why I asked you.
Because many people, I mean, just very casually say, "हाँ चलता है." Like Baba says that in Avyak Murli's, "कौन संपूर्ण बनाए? सब कोई ऐसे हैं." कोई ऐसा नहीं है. You just look at Mama and Baba. Don't look at others. Because my eye for looking at others is so big. Baba says the dur drishti is good, but the subtle drishti of looking at myself, the subtle checking is very poor. So that way, right. So Bijit bhai chalta hai. Okay. So अभी suppose
Yeah, so I'm sorry. So just the dharma and karma. So dharma means we have to stabilize ourselves, or we should try ourselves to mm, have that consciousness always, right? That I'm a soul, and doing every action being stabilized in that consciousness. But what you said is, yes, of course, we forget to stabilize in that stage. And then yesterday in the Thakar Murli, there was this that, Baba was saying, the sanskar that we accumulate in the reverse order, right? So we, from Kali Yuga, we go to the Dwapar Yuga sanskar, and then from there, we go to the Treta Yuga sanskar. So when we get to Treta Yuga, we will become Vikarmajit. So that means we will conquer all our, sense organs. That's when we will be able to stabilize ourselves in that soul conscious state. That's what I believe. And but of course I have to make that effort to get there. But here we repeatedly forgetting. But every day, since we are reading Murli, and we are coming in group, and so there we are reminding the self that we have to become this, right? At least every day while reading Murli, we know that okay, we have to become soul conscious. So when we become our soul conscious, become natural, right? That's when our karma will become stressed, right? That means that's when we are going to really spread the peace and love and happiness, whatever is the original nature of soul, right? Yeah, just a thought. You can throw more light onto it, Manoj Bhai. Thank you.
yeah, no, it's right what you're saying. So the crux and the root for everything is just to be in constant remembrance. And as I said, I was wanting to share Mohini Didi's message of yesterday. There was a Bhog message of Dadi Ratan Mohini's first Avyak Divas. And Baba showed her a big palace over there and showed her a Rajkumari of 1 year old, which means Dadi has been born into a royal family. And when I say royal here, so I feel the understanding that the Mohini Didi said, Baba is saying, let every child of me become a royal. Now that doesn't mean royal means getting birth in a royal family in Kali Yuga. Royal means to become a soul who is independent, like a Raja. Raja means always a giver, a bestower, a donor, always in that mode, never wants anything. A king can never ask anything from the subjects. He's always the giver or bestower. Second thing, a royal soul is always independent. It will never be dependent on people for things, always dependent on Baba and independent inside. Then a third, I think a royal soul would always be free from vices. In one way, Swarajya. So it's very. So I was trying to say that at the end, when she finished the Bhog message, she said, Baba is wanting us to all this, whatever Baba is wanting us to become, can only happen by becoming constantly in the remembrance of one. And then she also went on to touch that Baba said, look at the times outside. The war is all that is going on. So now, do you feel, children, that my dear children and my dear sweet children, that is the war outside intensifying at a faster speed, or your yoga is intensifying at a faster speed? You all decide who is faster. Obviously, it's the war thing which is becoming more faster. So all of us have to really work on this intensifying the yoga power and being in the remembrance, and each one has to do its for own. We can't set a routine, it is a fixed routine, everyone has to follow that way. No, each to his own. Everyone's capacity is different, everyone's karmic account is different, everyone's daily routine schedule is different. So many things, so many factors, so we have to just find out time, and I have to decide how I have to do that. And better don't ask anyone. People ask, oh, what should we do? Oh, come on, Baba has said everything in the Murlis. Now I just have to do it for myself. So just keep remembering. So as you rightly said, we are falling short in that always. Okay, the power of remembrance, the second subject, which is the toughest. Nevertheless, let's not be disheartened with this statement of mine. Just keep doing that, and we will be there soon. Right, so it's 5:48. All done today, or you all want to go further still?
Vibha, I know you're going to ring the bell, but just one question I had, because when this brother Bijit Pai spoke about that going in a reverse order, there was one thing in that Sakar Murli which really put me off when it said, when you reach the silver age, the mischief of your physical organs will finish. That really I didn't understand. Or was it wrong in the Murli? When you reach yesterday, when he spoke about going from the iron age to the golden age, there was a sentence in the Murli: when you reach the silver age, the mischief of your physical organs will finish. I was just thinking, how can that sentence come there when there was no mischief in the organs from golden to silver? It's a question. Today's Murli I can ask even tomorrow. If you can just throw some light on that.
Yeah, so a Treta Yugi soul means a soul who's a warrior's soul, who's still fighting inside with all those, the vice with the virtue, etc., etc. So according to that Murli, which I was speaking about, did this word come in the Sakar Murli? I don't know, but
Yeah, Sakar Murli,
anyway.
as yesterday's.
Yeah,
It's
I
when
would have
we.
dismissed it then, but because I read the Murli, but yeah, I mean, I've heard it somewhere or the other, but categorically it came yesterday. I don't remember that, but it's fine. I get your point. It has come in the Sakar Murlis keep repeating once in 5 years. So yes, I've heard it before.
Mm.
So, as you all have been discussing, that all of our Purusharth starts from being Tamo. So, our Purusharth initially is Tamo Pradhan. Then, as we go further, it becomes Rajo Pradhan Purusharth. Then, we become really copper aged in our Purusharth. And then, gradually, we slip into this Treta Yogi, which is what we call semi Sato Pradhan Purusharth, not full Sato Pradhan. So, like here, example, anything. So, if I'm still struggling inside with some thoughts of vice, I'm not able to use a virtue where I should be using it. I'm not able to use a certain power. Like, for example, if someone is confronting me, I should be in one way trying to tolerate that and not trying to use the power to face. That time I should use the power to tolerate. So, all this we know that we should be doing. But if I'm struggling, if I'm not able to do, which means I am still a Treta Yogi Purusharthi there. And what you said about that, if when that war inside, war means the war of virtue and vice stops inside, then I'm moving, I'm slipping into the Satyugi stage, whereby then now I'm totally stable. So I think that's what Baba was referring to, that Purusha, that you're still in that Treta Yugi or silver aged, if you're still struggling, fighting with things inside. Right. Okay.
Shanti Prabha,
Go ahead, yeah.
the four lines of fortune that Baba says is the birth, the sustenance, the knowledge, and the service. Uh, the more we follow them, the more is the fortune. The more is the fortune, the more is the lucky and gratified we are. So that's how we increase our sense of happiness by growing in all these lines. Thank you. Om Shanti.
Yes, very true. Baba says that the parameter which, yeah, one question which many people ask Baba, and Baba's direct answer, Vinod Bhai pointed out to that, that how do I know that my yoga is powerful or not? And my entire day is being yoga yukta or not? Yesterday's Murli, which you all have read. So the one parameter is the happiness stage. If the stage of my happiness, and again, happiness doesn't mean an excitement stage, ha ha, hoo, no. It's about the stage of stability. So happiness is inside the root, and on my face there will be cheerfulness, Harshit Mukh. So my cheerfulness on my face and attitude, and my inner being stable and happiness, that is the parameter which tells me that yes, my yoga is good, and I'm really being successful in my yoga power. So that's a good point. Thank you. Okay, so I think I'm not ringing the bell as a teacher, but I'm just being conversant of the time. So it's 5:53. So let's sit in silence and no music. Just let's be in silence. Try to go in the silent stage more and more. Thank you. Om Shanti. Okay. Thank you. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Thank you to Baba. Thank you, Manoj Bhai. Thank you, Divine Family. See you tomorrow at 5 a.m. Until then, have a beautiful day.